Hello boys and girls, and welcome to my top 5 horror games. This includes franchises in general and specific video games. I will try to pick at specific games in a franchise, but if I can't, then it'll just be the franchise overall. But yeah, I can't say these are top 5 horror games of all time, because there'll most likely be a horror game in the future which will scare the ever-living daylights out of me. But these are my top 5 picks, so agree with them, don't agree with them, whatever, I don't care really. So I'm going to judge these games as I see fit. So let's get on with number 5. In at number 5 is Silent Hill, more specifically Silent Hill 4. Now, a lot of people are going to have a go at me for this, but the main reason why this is at number 5 is quite simply because the Silent Hill games never really scared me that much. They were... I just found them repetitive every now and again. I like what Silent Hill 4 did, which is why I'm putting that in the list instead of any of the other Silent Hill games. It was just quite simply because all the frights and the jump scares were more using the sort of paranoia based things. It was a good series, better than most survival horror games out there at the moment. And yes, I do enjoy playing Silent Hill from time to time, but it lacks a bit. Here's the trailer, see what you guys think, but my opinion is really well. If you are going to pick up a Silent Hill game, pick up Silent Hill 4. All the rest just kind of lack in the scare factors, if you will. They are bringing the series back, which I think is a good idea. But even so, Silent Hill 4 still is the best Silent Hill game for me. However, it's not good enough to make it further up the list. In at number 4 is Resident Evil, specifically the GameCube remake. The reason for this was quite simply because it was the creepiest one out of them all. The puzzles were good, it felt more realistic, if you will, than the original Resident Evil game, and it held up a hell of a lot better than some of the newer entries of Resident Evil. Now, I don't mind games such as Resident Evil 6 because I get what they're trying to do, and for what they are, they're good games. It's just the plots are all over the place, and it's kind of hard just to say, ah yes, I know exactly what's going on here, I'm perfectly happy with the game's choices so far, and I'm going to fully agree with that. But seriously, this game, Resident Evil, the GameCube remake was the best one in my opinion. It just had so many good factors about it. The fact that you could walk around and probably be scared at any moment, and it wasn't at all random. It was the fact that you know that half the scares are gonna come at you, but they scare you anyway. And for that to even work, I gotta give them props to that. So yeah, Resident Evil Remake at number 4. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Hazard. 2002 Spring.
In at number 3 is a more recent entry, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now this one surprised me. Indie horror games tend to be good if they work them right, if they add the right formula for the games in, and this game most definitely did. The thing which I find most scary about horror games is when it's a first person horror game, which makes you feel more involved in it, and the fact that you have full control over these CCTV cameras with all of these animatronics constantly jumping from time to time. If you die in the game, it's your own fault. Where in other games such as Resident Evil or things like that, because you're on a third person angle, you kind of blame the game more times than you do yourself, which is one of the things which this game has never made me do. I've not once ever stopped playing the game saying, oh, that's rubbish, this should have happened, that should have happened. I've always realised when it was my fault with this game, because I was fully in control. And that's one of the scariest things a horror game can do, put you in control of what happens. And the scares in this game, they were just... nothing has come close to this in a long time, which is why this is so high up my list. Enjoy. I'll be surprised if anyone remembers this one. This game is called Penumbra Black Plague. It's a sequel to Penumbra Overturn. And... well, not Overturn, I can't remember. But it's made by the same people that made Amnesia. But the creepiest thing about it is that the main character, the thing which he's trying to run from, is pretty much himself. He has a living alien of sorts inside of him, and the fact that this alien can play mind tricks whenever it wants to, he can create nightmare scenarios whenever it feels like it, is more scarier than being chased by any monster, because you know that at any point throughout the game you could die just because the monster's just darkened something, and you've fallen because you couldn't find your way of going, because the alien has done this. Now, I would say that this game tied with Amnesia, but it really didn't. The monsters in this game are like 10 times scarier compared to anything out of Amnesia. With Amnesia, you can give them the quick slip by running around the castle a couple of times. With this game, not a chance. They can carry crowbars, they can carry all sorts of weapons, and the scariest part about the game is the fact that they're all... Yes, the Amnesia game does get the whole they're all human things, but these guys, they're aliens, and they were once humans, and the story and the conversation with your arch enemy throughout the entire game just works so well that I had to put this at number 2. It doesn't even come close to Amnesia. This game is just too good for that. So, let's have a look at number 1. Now, with all the twists and turns this top 5 list has made, which are probably going to surprise a lot of people, at number 1 is the Project Zero franchise. More specifically, Project Zero 1. But you can choose any of the Project Zero games and still have the living daylights just smacked right out of you. A lot of horror games, they're really like genre defying and revolutionary. However, this game, yes, sure, it's in the whole Silent Hill, Resident Evil style walk around. However, just the fact that the one way you have to destroy all these spirits and ghosts that are being thrown at you is you have to get as close to them as possible. Now, with a game like Resident Evil or Silent Hill or any other game for that matter, it normally tells you to get away from the monsters. With this game, you have to get as close to them as possible without being hurt. And this is going to be in the first person perspective as well. The fact that all these ghosts are hurtling themselves towards you, and you actually have to let them do that. The mechanics of this game is so well done, and future installments of the game are currently being developed, and I am going to be all over them when they come out. It's just... nothing's come close to how this game's made me feel, and this is one reason why I feel the supernatural in video games. It's just any small Japanese girl in a white kimono pointing, from now on I will immediately either kill first or run away from, because this is what happened when I played this game. That was my top 5 list. I know it's a bit anticlimactic and all that sort of stuff, but these games are really worth checking out. Specifically Project Zero, I can't tell you how scary that game is, but I can show you, which is what's going to happen soon. I am going to be playing through a bit of Project Zero. I can't say I'll be playing through all of it, because I'll probably be on the floor white as a sheep by the time I finish the game. But yeah, these are my top 5 horror games so far. If you're just gonna be the, I don't know, the idiot in the room and say, oh look, you should have put Resident Evil at the top, or you should put Silent Hill at the top. Well, this is why this is my top 5 list, not yours. So please respect each other, and don't go chasing after girls in white kimonos, or you will die by 50 billion hands hurling themselves towards you.